Hi everyone, Bethany here, your clean eating coach. Today, I want to talk about what to do when your environment or your family or friends do or offer something that can threaten to overthrow your healthy eating habits and what to do. The reason this topic actually came up was because of a personal story yesterday. Yesterday, my husband was working from home and he said for lunch, hey, let's throw in this frozen pizza. He picked up the frozen pizza from the grocery store the other day when we were there. I'm trying to buy less frozen food, but he picked it up and so it was in the freezer. And I had this internal struggle because I already had a plan. I was gonna eat a salad with a potato and it was gonna be very plant-based and healthy as opposed to like a DiGiorno frozen pizza. So I stood there and I'm grateful. I've grown a lot. In the past, I would have just like reacted without thinking. But as I sat there, I was thinking, and the process that I went through, I want to share with you in what you can also do as one healthy way to approach these situations and not alienate the people that are close to you. So as I was thinking, I realized all this internal resistance. I realized I had a few options. Like, I could throw in the frozen pizza, but I didn't have to eat it. I could just serve him, put it in, and continue with my lunch plans. Now, that was a hard choice to think about because I really like pizza. And, it was just kind of a random thing to do on a random day. And I thought, maybe I'll go out of routine. The other option was I could just eat it. Just throw my plan out the window and eat it. But I was like, oh, that's not healthy. And I had another plan. And then my third option was to whine about it and judge him. I'm glad I didn't choose that route, but it was a temptation to go, oh, honey, we already have food in the fridge. I was gonna eat a salad. Let's choose something healthy, And yeah, the fact is, like, that's my instinct sometimes. I want to confess that. And so those were the three options that kind of came to mind. And I wonder what you guys think I chose. I'll let you know at the end. So as I was processing through this, though, this made me realize that here are the steps to approaching, people in your life when they do try to, not even intentionally throw you off your eating game, but we're doing this journey for a reason, and people around you don't always understand, and they're going to offer you a cookie, a donut, things that you may not want to eat at that time, but then you may feel tempted to say yes. So here are some things to remember. One, remember that you have a choice. You are not a victim. When he was asking me to put the pizza in, my instinct was to go, and like whine and act as though if we put in a pizza, I had to eat it. And that fact is, that's not true. And it was so good that I realized that in my head, like, oh, I don't have to eat it. I want to eat it. I hadn't really thought about it, but I want to, but I don't have to. So you're not a victim. You do have choices, and realize what those choices are. Two, don't judge the person who's inviting you into whatever it is they're inviting you to. You don't have to say yes, but you also don't have to judge the person that's offering it to you. That was the thing I was also tempted to do, is go, oh, well, look at me, I'm eating all healthy, but you're not, it made me feel better about myself to think that I could judge my husband. And the thing is, like, we're all on our own unique eating journey. And my journey isn't your journey, and it's not my husband's journey, and it's not your friend's journey. And so it's not fair or healthy for us to sit in judgment on those around us. We've made certain choices. We've decided, I want to eat a certain way, and that's awesome. And maybe you see others in your life and think, they need to change their diet, and you could be right. But it's not really your place to decide. You don't get to control your friends or family or kids. You don't get to decide how they choose to live their life or what they eat. And we can talk more about that in another episode, but we do have a responsibility to influence and help educate, but at the end of the day, we don't get to control anyone. So don't judge. Choose to follow your own path, be faithful to what you've committed to do. The third thing I'd say is, at the end of the day, when you have this choice to make, do what feels right to you, but acknowledge that there are always going to be consequences of any choice you make. So in my situation, if I chose to eat the pizza, then I had to acknowledge, well, the consequences are I'm probably not going to feel quite as good inside. Like, I might feel a little crappy after eating it because it's not as healthy, it's not as light as a salad. I had to acknowledge that I might feel a little guilty because here I am trying to really hold up a high standard for eating, and I don't always follow it. That's the truth, you know? We're all on our journey. So now, on the other hand, if I chose to not eat the pizza, there are also consequences like resentment. Like, maybe I would feel, man, I hate it that my husband's always eating this really delicious but bad for you food, and here I am eating my salad that, when you compare them, my salad didn't seem nearly as exciting or comforting or delicious. And so I had to deal with the consequences of that if I chose to not eat the pizza, right? But at the end of the day, I still had to choose. Okay, now I see the facts, I see my choices, and then I decide. What do you think I chose? I chose to eat the pizza, much to my husband's disappointment, because he was really hungry and he actually wanted to eat most of the pizza by himself, but I decided that I was going to split it with him. And it was really good. And actually, the good news was I didn't really feel that bad inside after eating it, and I didn't feel guilty. And part of the reason I didn't feel guilty was because I had thought it through ahead of time. Like, you know what? I'm not eating frozen food every day. This is a special treat. My husband often doesn't work from home, so it was kind of like we got to enjoy it together and do something a little special. So I think the moral of the story in this situation is that every circumstance is different, but it's good to have a plan going into it. If you don't have a plan, then when somebody approaches you with something that you're not sure you want to do, but you haven't made a plan for it, it's really easy to just do it and forget that you actually have a choice. And then you feel resentful and frustrated later. And so I want to help prevent you from that. I hope these tips will help you as you move forward in your healthy eating journey. And remember, it's a journey. It's not one stop. It's not a one-time thing. You don't just eat healthy once and then you're healthy forever. Healthy eating kind of goes up and down like a roller coaster, and that's okay. It's just part of the journey. So I wanted to share this little story with you just to give you an example of just a day-to-day scenario that is very likely to happen in your home, in your school, in your place of worship, wherever you go. Like, these are going to be scenarios that happen, and so it's good to have a game plan going in. So I'd love to hear what strategies you've tried for scenarios like the one I faced this week. And also, when you try these tips, let me know how it goes. I'd love to hear in the comments below. As always, if you like this video, I'd really appreciate it if you click like, that you'd share it with your friends, and that you subscribe to my channel, because then you can hear more of what's going on, and I'd love to get to know you better. So again, comment below, follow me, and let's chat. I'd love to hear more about your story. All right, y'all. Happy eating. Have a great day. Bye.